What's going on, guys? BladeZilla here, and today we're taking a look at a pair of Chris Reeves knives, large Sebenza and a matching small Sebenza. Hopefully you can see that. The camera's going to kind of freak out because a lot of light is hitting this white box, so it may appear a little dark right now. But we're going to take a look at this. These are the White CarboTi knives from the R1 Invitational show that was kind of, I don't know what month these were available, but I think it was kind of around summertime, and one popped up and I figured I would grab a set, take a look at it, and you know, basically show you, see what I think, and you know, check them out. So let's do that. So this is not going to be a long video. They are Chris Reeves Sebenza 31 large and small. Everyone's seen them. I don't think I need to talk to you about the importance of the Reeves lock and how that kind of shaped modern folders, but anyway, comes with this cool slip. Think twice, cut once. Pretty nice. Chris Reeves branded. Love that kind of stuff. But we're not here for that. We're here to take a look at the knife. So let's get into this. Move these things aside and see what it's all about. There we go. Camera seems to be setting a little bit better now. So there we have it. This is the large. They are individually numbered. I believe there's 50, so number 47. And also, I will say, every single thing that you could have done to this knife was done. From a manufacturing perspective, it's the full-on blast, it's the machining, it's, geez, I think they actually did something on the blade as well. So anyway, really gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Let's just take a look at that White CarboTi to start. Ooh, baby, this is a good chunk of it too. As I move it around, you should be able to see all the different layers of that White CarboTi just bouncing with the light. Flip it around, and yes, we have it on the other side as well. These are made in Idaho. Oh, it says right there. I'm just kidding. Obviously, they're made in the US, and super, super loyal following on these knives. But the main thing here is looking at these. So it appears we've got kind of satin flats on the actual frame itself. At number 47 on the tip, we've got, should be double studs, and we've got the polished blade. Wow, this literally has all the options you can kind of get with a Chris Reeves. Magna cut as well. Gorgeous knives. And I can't even describe, because the light's really bouncing off this thing, but I can't describe how much light is actually reflecting off of this. It is milled completely flat on that frame, which if I grab my other Sebenza, we'll see what a glass blasted finish looks like, right? As you can see, really nice, but smooth, but certainly not anything like this in terms of the fit and finish. Just a complete next level. If you know, you know. So there you go. Pretty gorgeous. Let's take a look here. Action-wise, just beautiful. You know, Reeve knives, they're not fidgety knives whatsoever. They're, you know, they're on phosphor bronze, and they're kind of put together with pressure. So they're not like a Shurgor. They drop shut and smooth and silky. They're working knives. You know, super simple. If you've taken one apart and built it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, two big hunks of titanium, beautiful blade in the middle, and that's all you're really getting. Pretty simple, less is more, and they usually have a huge amount of, yeah, let's see how much lock they use on there. Like, it's usually 75% plus on the lockup, so pretty overbuilt knives. There's a reason they sell a ton of them. So there's that. I want to take a look at the other version, kind of get some side-by-sides as well. The small Sebenza, I should say, not the other version, because I am kind of curious to see if they did the exact same finish across the board on that one. And yes, it comes with the exact same cloth, slip, you name it, as well. Let's just go into this one. Oof. So there you go, matching number 47. Just put this in the background. And we've got a small Sebenza. So They tend to be available in kind of, at least the Sebenzas, 3 different blade styles. I've had them all. A drop point, a Tanto, and I can't remember what the other one was called. It wasn't really a Warney, but anyway, it's late. I'm not really thinking right now. I've had all 3 in a number of different configurations, and the drop point blade has always been the classic. Jesus, just startled myself opening that one, and hopefully you can just get that. Whew. Beautiful, just beautiful. This one's kind of doing a little bit better job showing the polish on the blade versus a standard Sebenza. Just because of the sensor, the camera really tries to freak out when you're reflecting light back into itself. So that's a gorgeous, let's put these normal cutting block that I use. Give you an idea of the color. Gorgeous. And I love how on this they actually did kind of keep the silver thumb studs instead of going blue or gold or whatever. I just, sometimes less is more. Silver hardware, but it is appears to be a polished silver hardware as well, versus kind of like a flat. So that's pretty cool. I always dig that kind of stuff. They do come with that that lanyard as well with a bead, and they don't all come with a bead. So it is kind of cool to see that it does come with a little bit of a bead on there to match the hardware. That's a nice little touch as well. And I believe it's the same on both. Same bead. Looks to be. But overall, just a really nice package. There's something so classic about a Chris Reeves knife. Like, it's just so well made. And to me, they're a less is more type knife, where there's really nothing too spectacular about them, right? Like, they patented the frame lock called the Reeve lock or Reeves lock, and there's really nothing too fancy about them. They're just rock solid users. And when you get a couple of these where they are numbered, and I wouldn't really put too much weight in the numbering on them, because there's so many different variants and configurations of these out there that there are loyal dedicated user groups that collect them, and in the various special finishes and patterns and unique milling all the time. They're definitely worthy of collecting. But if we kind of zoom out a little bit and really look at the core of them, they're nothing spectacular. Like I was saying earlier, they're just standard, well-made knives, made in the US, out of materials that are rock solid. And there's something to also be said for that. So it's cool to kind of get, like, say you're shopping for a set and you want a small and a large, and you know what, if you want to step right into the deep end with them, other than the custom graphics, it's pretty cool to kind of get a pair that are matching completely, that are machined, and they have that satin flats on them, the satin finish, and then the machined blade in magna cut with the White CarboTi, knowing that there's only 50 sets of these available, and not all of them stayed in sets, is my understanding as well. They did sell them individually and lottery them as individual knives. Actually, or was it a first come first serve? I can't recall what they did for the Invitational, but either way, to get a set of them is going to be more rare than individuals. So, this is going to stay as a set. I don't plan to separate the two, because it just doesn't make sense. And I just love how they number them. Like, it's just such a cool little thing. It takes no real effort to do, other than probably some setup and whatnot, but it is cool to have them numbered. So if 47 is your number, hit me up. I think that's pretty cool. And they are certainly matching, and even the chunks of White CarboTi are actually very, very close as well. You don't normally get that, which is awesome. I love that kind of stuff. I'm kind of curious to see, like, at what point CRK, like, they obviously had the a couple of different variances of the Sebenza now. I'm kind of curious to see what's next. You know, the Sebenza, I'm trying to think back here. I don't think I ever got my hands on a 25. I've had 21s, 31s, tons of Zons, Incosis, tons of Incosis. And it's sometimes funny how you get all the different variants, because at one point I started knife collecting with a bunch of CRKs, and I thought they were the bee's knees, and I still do. I think they're great knives, incredibly well-made knives. But I quickly realized my favorite of the entire batch of all the different configurations, all the blade drop points, etc., was just the standard Sebenza large with a drop point blade. Like, it's just so classic. It's such a classic. Like, any collector who's new to knives, get yourself a large drop point Sebenza. It doesn't have to be fancy, White CarboTi. It can just be like a standard configuration, and go put it in your pocket and appreciate kind of what it did for the knife community, and like, that's the beauty of that knife. You know, it's just such a classic. It's a core item, very collectible, obviously, very, like, just people love them. And they're floating around. They're everywhere. I shouldn't say they're collectible. They're everywhere in basic configurations. And then if you want to, you know, step up to some cool special graphics, you know, you always can. And if that tickles your fancy, then go for it. There you go. But otherwise, very well made knives. Made in the US, just classics. I'm going to put that to the side. The camera's like trying to find something in frame to focus on. And surprisingly, the camera is not doing too well with this one. Like, I cannot tell you how much shine is coming off these blades and the frame itself. They're very, very bright. Really cool. Even the small, like, it just fits your hand so well. It truly is a small knife, though. Keep that in mind. It's a small knife, but the large is perfect. That's a perfect knife. Super solid in hand. For me, right? I have an XL glove, and it just about fits me perfect. The cutout for the lock bar is another super, super useful item on the Sebenza that I've always loved, and how you can just fall right into it and access it. You know, the fidget factor of Chris Reeves certainly isn't there, and I wonder if it ever will be there on a Chris Reeve, because they do wear in over time and they get a little more fidgety, but certainly not anything drop shut. Like, see what I'm saying? There's almost zero drop to it. It's just solid. So there you go. I didn't want to do it too long of a video. I just wanted to show these knives because, one, I don't think I've ever had any CRKs on the channel in terms of like a knife review, because I just don't really see the point. There's so many different videos on Chris Reeves knives and Chris Reeve knives. So many videos, and I don't know what I'm going to really add to it. You know, maybe if they launch the Sebenza 35 or the Sebenza 41 at some point, sure, I'll do a video on it if it's fresh and new. But there's nothing I'm going to add giving you my opinion on this knife. It's not going to change your opinion on it. I think they're fantastic knives, well made. And every collector, if you're just getting into it, get one, get a large Sebenza, and you're going to be a happy camper. In terms of size comparisons, well, I can grab the standard. I actually use a lot of these in my videos quite frequently. So there's a neon, and let's grab my quantum. I use CRKs all the time to show the sizing of the shear Goroffs and the other various Protex and whatnot I have on the channel. Custom Knife Factory, all kinds of Riet stuff, Koenig, you name it. They're just such a solid knife to kind of show size comparisons. And I've always had a small, large, and my loyal Zon here as well. My Zon. I want to show that, to show the kind of blade difference here in terms of the machine blade versus the standard stone wash. Very, very different. But there's your Zon. Pretty cool. And it's always nice to have this stuff to kind of just showcase, talk about. And I'll put the other guide. Maybe I'll use that as a grab for the video or something. But it's always cool to have all of them in one place because they're gorgeous knives. Be more like there. Just gorgeous. The only thing is, I wish they would sit a little better. They always fall because of this little lanyard. So they don't sit too well. There you go. Beggars can't be choosers, eh? Oh my goodness. Now they're sitting beautifully well. So there you go. There's your White CarboTis from Chris Reeves for the R1 Invitational, which was over the summer of 2024 at some point. And figured I would just do a quick 15-minute video talking about them, showing them, showing what's cool and special about them versus giving you a full review on them, because there's no point. They're amazing knives, and I highly suggest getting one, trying one out. It doesn't have to be these. It can just be a regular Sebenza large. Or if you want to go crazy, get a cool graphic one, and you'll love that just as much. So there you go. Alright guys, have yourself a fantastic day. Thanks for stopping by. Check out BladeZilla.ca for more in Canada, and we'll see you next time. Peace.